Welcome to Ulster University Outdoor Adventure Programme. I'm delighted that you've switched into this presentation. You're interested in the programme with just a short presentation that'll take you through, that'll give you some background information, some idea of what you'll be doing in the programme. So we'll cover why study outdoor adventure at Ulster. We'll look at some of the aspects that you'll learn, how you'll be taught, and how you'll be supported. And we'll link that through, the so what. So if you do this, what sort of stuff could you end up working in? One of the things I'd draw your attention to, look at the picture there, that actively captures the sort of stuff that we do. Maybe not as extreme as that in first year, but we want you to be up on a rock face like that, but not only have the technical skills to lead somebody up there, but have the knowledge and understanding of why the sea conditions are like that day. What was the weather doing, the pressure systems, the wind, the waves, and swell to make it like that. What sort of rock are you climbing on there? Because that's the sort of outdoor professional we're trying to produce on the Outdoor Adventure Programme at Ulster. So why study at Ulster? Well, there's a couple of highlights I want to draw your attention to here. Number one, and I think this sets us apart from a lot of other programmes, we're partnered with the National Outdoor Centre at Tullymore. So that's the government-led organisation, Sport Northern Ireland, who lead the delivery and guidance around outdoor adventure across Northern Ireland. There's only 4 centres across the UK, so there's one here. So it's very special to be partnered with Tullymore National Outdoor Centre. And indeed, as a student on this programme, you would spend quite a bit of time down at Tullymore each year. The second thing is we do give you lots of opportunities to get professional industry qualifications which enable you to get employment. And a really good example of that is that we've just finished the first year of the programme, and the majority of students are working in the industry as we speak, the summer of 2023. Then we started the course in September 2022. They've gained professional qualifications that allow them to get work in the outdoor industry. And that leads us to the final bit. There's lots of graduate opportunities, because you'll not only learn about the environmental side of the outdoors, you'll get professional skills and the academic knowledge to underpin all that. So the graduate opportunities are significant, and we'll come to some of those a little bit later on. What you learn? Well, we cover a lot of areas. I'll show you the modules in a second or two. There's a lot about leadership, education development, coaching. We cover a lot of land and water based activities which enable you to both develop your personal skills and to develop the ability to lead and coach people in those environments. You also look at the environmental side of the outdoors, and that's a very contemporary thing to look at in terms of these programmes. So we want you not only to have the technical ability to take somebody rock climbing or paddleboarding, we want you to understand the environment that you're in and be able to relate stories about why it is what it is. And that gives a much more rounded experience to the people that you might be working with in the outdoors. The employability skills that you require across probably any range of jobs, if you decide not to go into the outdoor world after this, they're embedded throughout the programme. So all that, the sort of things like developing your CV, thinking about your employability journey in terms of where you're aiming to get to, what goals you need to cover to get there, type of negotiation skills, group work skills, high level communication skills are all the things that are covered from day one of the programme through the 3 years. It's designed to give you experience that will get you a start in your career. So in essence, first year is about you and your personal skills in a range of land and water based activities. So we give you opportunities to participate in a range of sports such as paddleboarding, open canoeing, sea kayaking, mountaineering, climbing, mountain biking, coasteering, that's just to name about a few. And within that, we introduce you to the risk and the safety aspects that go alongside that, so that you understand how to safely participate in these range of these outdoor sports by yourself, and also the things to take into account when you're working with other people in an outdoor adventure setting. In second year, it's much more about how you work with others. So we're really focusing much more on your leadership and coaching skills. So at that stage, you'll have attained a range of professional qualifications, which will put you in a position to go on a professional placement with an outdoor provider, and that takes up the whole of the second semester of year 2, where you're actively working in the industry and having opportunities to really learn how it works. In final year, we're much more focused then on you being a much more independent outdoor practitioner. We do modules around how you interpret the context that you might work in, because some of you may work on this island, some may work across the UK, some may go to Europe, New Zealand, Australia, USA. So we want to give you the skills to be able to assess those areas and the context you're in, so that you can transfer to really any area in the world, but you'll have the underpinning skills that allow you to assess the context you're in. One of the highlights of final year is a multi-day expedition, looking at 4 to 6 days of an expedition, and involving multiple modes of transport. So it could be on the water, on bikes, it could be walking, it could be any sort of paddleboards, it could be a range of things. It just depends. It'll be up to you to design that experience, and we expect that to be a big highlight for many of the students on this programme. These are the modules you'll study. I'll not take you through each of them in detail. That could be something if you want to find more information about the course. One of the things to bring your attention to here is there's 15 modules, and you do all those modules. There's no optional modules in this programme, so everybody's on broadly the same journey. And you might look at that and go, is there no option to select things to suit the things I prefer? And the answer to that is there is. You have flexibility within these modules. So for example, if you came onto this programme and you weren't that water confident and found you weren't as interested in the water-based stuff, we would introduce you to it, but it doesn't mean that you have to always do that. You can be more rock-based, mountain-based, bike-based. It just depends what suits your needs. So you do those modules across the 3 years. You'll notice in the top of the slide there's environmental modules across. You've got environmental studies, the atmosphere, and then a research and professional practice module. They're delivered in partnership with the environmental science and geography department. So you get to mix in with other students and get a different learning experience there. And the idea of that is that you, as an outdoor adventure practitioner, have knowledge and understanding of how the environment works, which adds value to how you can lead and guide and coach people in an outdoor environment. And the rest of the modules are standalone modules just for outdoor adventure. How you be taught? Well, as you might imagine, it's a very active thing. There's a lot of doing outdoor activities on this programme. So to give you an example of how first year works, the first years have 1 day a week where it's totally practical day, and then they have a couple of other sessions over maybe 2 other days in the week where there will be elements of practical in those days as well. And then there's a little bit of workshop lecture stuff depending on which modules you're in. But if you were to sum it all up across the 3 years of the programme, it's much more heavily weighted towards being practical and doing and learning by doing. So a sort of experiential learning approach to it. So we give you lots of practice, lots of working with each other, and lots of working with other groups of people. How do we assess you? A lot of the assessment is practical and group work, like designing videos, both individually as a group is one aspect, doing presentations, and delivering practical sessions in a range of outdoor adventure sports. There's only a small bit of writing within the programme, because we're really focused on, well, what do you need to be able to do when you finish a programme like this? And you need to be able to practically deliver, lead, guide, whatever direction you happen to end up in. So a lot of the assessment is what we would term authentic. It's designed to give you real life experience of what it will be like to work in the world of outdoor adventure. So I mentioned earlier on that we're partnered with Tullymore National Outdoor Centre, so that's down in the Mournes. So we get the best of both worlds in a sense. We've got the Mourne Mountains for a lot of the mountaineering, walking based stuff that we do, and then we've got the North Coast for a lot of the water based stuff that we do. So as part of the programme, you will get to go to Tullymore 1 week each semester. That can sometimes be a whole week at a time, or it might be 3 days at a time and another 2 days at another point. But across the whole programme, across the 3 years, you should be there at least 6 times for around about 4 to 5 days at a time. So that's a unique opportunity, because this is the industry leading centre. It's the place to be if you want to be at the sharp end of what outdoor adventure is all about. How will we support you? Well, we're all outdoor professionals on the programme. So you have 2 members of staff in Ulster University who are both national trainers, very active in the water sports side of outdoor adventure, and then you have a range of staff in Tullymore National Outdoor Centre who are at the cutting edge of their sports, whether it be mountain biking, climbing, mountaineering, coasteering, whatever it happens to be. The staff are they're all outdoor practitioners. That's in summary, that's what makes the course special, because we're doing what we're doing. What we do with you, we're actually doing in our own time and doing professionally within the national governing bodies of sport. We support you throughout the whole programme. There's a lot of work-based connections that we draw out as we go along. We do connect you with a lot of employers as we go along, give you opportunities to see other operations, see how companies work, how they deliver outdoor adventure. So there's a significant amount of support then through the university itself, with student support in the library and places like that. And we'd introduce you to all that stuff as we move through the program. Additional qualifications. So this is probably a real big selling point for this program, and that you have the opportunity, and these are just some examples of the types of things you can get. So if I give you an example for our first years this year, they achieved their stand-up paddleboard instructor award. 2 of them achieved their sheltered water stand-up paddleboard coach award, and 4 of them achieved their lowland leader award. So that allows them to be deployed immediately. So they were all working this summer, as I said previously. And you'll also do a 2-day outdoor first aid course, which many employers will ask for when you go to look for work. So these qualifications are the types of things that all really depends on your own personal interest and the amount of practice and work you do outside of the programme to where you get with some of these. Some of them can be easily attained through the programme, some of them require a lot more personal support from yourself to get them, but that'll all become clear if you come on the programme. You can stand out, because what you do in this programme is all about leading, about coaching, presenting, communicating effectively, working as a group effectively, negotiating, designing, planning, all skills that apply to all sorts of other jobs. So if you do come on this programme, you will get so much practice at these skills that it will become second nature for you to be able to stand up in front of a group and brief them on something, or do a really good presentation, or do a pitch for something. These are the sorts of graduate skills you automatically get on an outdoor adventure programme. Because of the nature of the types of things we do, you get lots of practice at that. Your career options, well, the obvious ones: outdoor adventure leader, instructor. So there's a world of opportunities within that, and there's so many outdoor type centres, commercial providers, people that run active tourism, run guide tours around the country, these sorts of things. There's all sorts of stuff there. There's never been more, even in this country, there's never been more than there is now. So there's lots of job opportunities. Some people may consider going into teaching. This qualification would probably set you apart if you went that direction. You would then have to do a PGCE after you'd finished this programme, but you'd be set apart. You have a very specialist tool set to offer to any school if you decide to go down the teaching route. Things like adventure tourism, the whole management, team building side of stuff, commercial equipment industries, people end up in that, in the specialist equipment that's provided for the outdoors, working in there as a technical person, or outdoor adventure business, and there's many of those about at the minute. And that's just in the outdoor adventure side of stuff. A degree like this would give you employability skills that would equip you to go into a range of other types of jobs. So there's a bit of an overview for you. You can glance through that yourself. The main emphasis is that I draw out for you that there's lots of career opportunities from this, and they really are from the end of year 1. You could be working through the summer in the outdoor adventure industry and probably doing very well out of that. It's very real world experience, and that's particularly relevant because of the partnership with Tullymore National Outdoor Centre, where we're really giving you the opportunity to see what it's like to work in this industry and work with people that lead the development of practice in this industry. And one of the other things we mentioned earlier, those week-long residentials at Tullymore are a particular standout for you. And as I say, you'll also gain additional qualifications as you move through. So you can see the course is based at Coleraine. And one of the things about the course, these are continually reviewed. We are only starting this course, so this is the second year of it coming up. But it gets continually reviewed to take advantage of what's happening in the industry and keep it as up to date as we can. We're really interested in what a graduate needs to be able to do in 2 to 3 years' time. Are we preparing them to be effective for an employer in the industry? You'll be based at the Coleraine campus, as I said a second ago. You can see the sort of stuff that's there. It's a very good sports centre here. We have direct access to the river. We have our own boathouse. We're 5 minutes from some of the best surf beaches in Ireland, and we use a lot of that as part of the programme. So the students in year 1 have been surfing a couple of times as part of some of the development we've been doing. So it's a beautiful north coast you'll be based on, and some of the other stuff, as we've said, you'll get an opportunity to be based in one of the most beautiful places in Northern Ireland, in the Mourne Mountains. So you'll spend a lot of time down there as well. You can find the entry requirements on the web link below. And if you have any questions or anything like that, just email that, and stuff might be directed back to me. I'm Robin Gregg, the course director for the programme. I hope that was informative, and please feel free to contact us if you'd like to discuss the course in any more detail.